Hey there, if you're watching this video, you're probably concerned about the quality of your water tanks or your water system. Or you might be trying to establish what the difference is between Promax and a competitor's offering. Or maybe you're trying to satisfy for yourself which manufacturer is going to meet the standards and specifications you need in order to have a system which is resilient and will stand the test of time. If any of this rings true with you, then stay tuned. Quality is a very valid question, and it's very, very important to get it right. But don't take it from me. Take it from our customers. Take it from our clients, because they're the ones who experience the pain when it all goes wrong. I had a discussion with a building compliance officer who was working with a client on a project where they'd installed a number of competitor water tanks. The tanks needed to meet certain standards and specifications. They needed to meet NZS 4541 2020, AS/NZS 4766 2020. They needed seismic restraints, an FEA analysis, and a PS1 to confirm design. After the tanks were installed, the compliance officer went back to the manufacturer asking for the paperwork, and after a bit of faffing around, he was given a document on a company letterhead titled Producer Statement PS1. Then it had listed out all of the standards and specifications claiming they'd been met. But there was no FEA analysis, and it wasn't signed off by a CPNG author in New Zealand. It was only signed by somebody in the company. So the compliance officer couldn't accept that. He couldn't sign the building off. He went back to the manufacturer asking for the documentation. He was met with deaf ears. They stopped answering his phone calls. There was no response to emails. He was left completely on his own with no backup support at all. So after a while, he went back to the client and said, look, hey, you got two options. You can either pull the tanks out and replace them with something compliant, or do your own FEA analysis, and if it passes, then you can keep them. So the client decided to engage his own engineer to do FEA analysis for him. The results of that showed that the tanks failed catastrophically. What that means is that piece of paper, that document, that PS1 as it were, wasn't worth the paper it was written on it. It was completely false. All of those claims to meet the standards and specifications were all completely false. The scary thing for me is knowing that there's unscrupulous manufacturers out there who have no qualms about claiming to meet the standards and specifications that FEA analysis proves they don't meet. Shortly after this, we were contracted to supply tanks for a similar project, had to meet the same standards and specifications, NZS 4541, 4766, FEA analysis, PS1, all those good things. And we didn't realise this until after the tanks were installed. But we supported the client through it. We engaged our own independent engineer to conduct FEA analysis on our behalf. The results of that showed that our tanks passed. What we didn't realise was the engineer we had contracted happened to be the same one who had done the analysis on the competitor's tanks. And not only them, but another competitor before that. So we were the third one he'd worked on, and the only one he'd managed to issue a PS1 for. So what that tells us is if you are wanting to have a compliant system, if you're wanting to make sure that the manufacturer is able to meet the standards and specifications important to you, if you're wanting to know the difference between Promax and what a competitor can offer, to confirm the quality of your tanks, then talk to the team at Promax. Head over to promax.co.nz. Thanks and have a great day.